Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is me, Crazyfrankie, and I'd like to welcome you to my Week 1 NFL 2017 key game picks. The season is finally here. We are now entering the 2017 NFL season. Whew, I feel like it's been forever since we've last seen some football, even though college football has already started, and people who care about baseball are watching the pennant races going on. But finally, for me as a football fan, it's finally here, this regular season. Now, before I get into this, originally I was supposed to make another video before this, but unfortunately, some things did not go as I originally planned. I was supposed to make a video on all the division winners in both the AFC and NFC conference, but unfortunately, time was so scrapped up lately in my personal life. I didn't have any time to do the video, so that will, if you want to see what I predict for each division in both conferences, I will put it in the description, and including my two teams that I think will be in the postseason this year. Now, let's get into my 4 key game picks here. Now, since it's the start of the new season here, there's a lot of questions going on before the regular season starts, whether or not, I'm sure a lot of us are probably wondering, will the Patriots repeat as champions of the National Football League? Will the Atlanta Falcons rebound from their Super Bowl debacle? Which teams will finally be sleeper picks and actually make some noise this season? And which teams will fall under the radar? And probably, I think a lot of us are going to be wondering, which NFL coaches are in the hot seat and maybe fired this season? There's a lot of questions going on, which is another topic for another day. Now, every year when I do this, the first week is always the toughest week because it's the first game for everybody in the National Football League, so you don't know what to expect here from every team and how they do. Now, I have watched a lot of the preseason games. Tough to say. I look like I haven't seen much changes for a lot of teams, except other than maybe some key injuries that have happened. Julian Edelman is out for the Patriots, but that's a whole nother story, but I don't have enough time to get into it because this is a video I want to try to keep short here, and I want to be as articulate as I can be because whenever I do videos, I'm sure a lot of you notice that I struggle and stutter a lot, and I'm doing my absolute best to put a stop to that. And that's why I may be a little bit slow in speaking, but I want to make sure that I speak clearly so you understand what I'm saying. But anyways, enough of that. Let's begin Week 1, my 4 key game picks for the 2017 NFL season. And let's begin with key game number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the New England Patriots, which is the opening night game this coming Thursday, September the 7th. Now, the New England Patriots, of course, are the defending champions. And of course, they do have one main concern right now, since they don't have Julian Edelman. He's going to be out for the season because he got hurt during the preseason in the game against the Lions. And that does bring in mind, do the Patriots have enough wide receivers? Of course they do. You got Gronkowski and you got some other key players that can step up and fit that role. I mean, this is Tom Brady we're talking about here. He's always had good receivers to throw to. I mean, come on. As long as Belichick's there, as long as Brady's there, the Patriots are going to keep on winning no matter what any NFL team does to try to stop them. This opening game is not going to be much. This is probably the easiest pick of the weekend, probably the easiest pick of Week 1. And I'm sure a lot of you know I'm going to pick. Of course, I'm going to pick the New England Patriots. The Patriots are a 9-point favorite. Kansas City right now, I didn't see much highlights from them, but they pretty much have the same team intact. But to start the NFL season, you have to play against the defending champions and a team that's pretty much still intact. You could not pick a worse opening game here. So there's no question the Patriots are going to easily win this game. This game won't even be close. It's kind of a downer for an opening NFL game. Patriots over the Chiefs. Key game number 2, it is the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins. Probably the closest game this week. Now, Washington has too many off-the-field issues. Obviously, if if the franchise is going to put Kirk Cousins putting the franchise tag, which really right now he's playing for this NFL season, or more likely he will be traded or even be released. Philly right now, they didn't do much to improve in the draft, as well as really on both sides of the ball. Carson Wentz really needs to have a good season. I mean, last year, everybody in Philly praised him for the start that they have, and then pretty much they fell off the radar after that. But no question, a lot of pressure now is on Wentz to do very well for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. But I think the way this game will start out between these two teams, it's probably going to be the closest game of this week. The Eagles are actually a 1-point favorite in this, but don't be surprised if the odds go even by game time on Sunday. Philly's offense, they're about as equal with the Redskins. Defense-wise, they're about even. So, yeah, this is a very evenly matched game here. So, who do I got in this game? I'm going to pick the Philadelphia Eagles here. I think the off-the-field distractions are becoming an even bigger problem for the Washington Redskins. And this would make Philly's... I know Philly really doesn't have much of a running game, but I think their passing game and their offense is just a tad better than Washington's. But don't get me wrong, this is expected to be a very close game here. So I got the Eagles over the Redskins. Key game number 3, a pretty good one coming here in this one here. The Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. Packers are a 3-point favorite in this one. That number will probably be just a bit lower by game time, but for the sake of this video, I will keep it at 3 points. Seattle upgraded their defense a little bit in free agency. But Green Bay's offense, they still intact though. Now, obviously, Green Bay did take a hit with their running game a little bit here. They don't have Lacey anymore. So, yeah, I expect this probably to be another close game here. I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes in overtime here. Both offenses are very good. Defense-wise, they're about evenly matched, too. So, this is another tough game to pick here. Who do I have? Now, obviously, Russell Wilson has to have a big year because a lot of the experts say that the Seahawks, they'll still win the division, but pretty much from the time they had from their Super Bowl run, the rest of the team is completely gone now. But I still think, well, for the Seahawks, they're in a weak division. So there's no question I see them winning it again. Same thing with Green Bay. Green Bay is really not really in a good, the division stinks in the NFC North. So, yeah, but for the sake of this game here, because both teams are good, Green Bay is a 3-point favorite in this one. But don't be surprised if this is a very close game. Don't be surprised if this ends up going into overtime here. Whew. I'll pick the Green Bay Packers here. I think the Packers offense, especially, they have enormous advantage at home. Seattle does have a hard time playing in Green Bay. I mean, they haven't won in a long time there, but I do see Green Bay winning this one, but don't get me wrong, Seattle will still be good this year. Expect a very, very close game here, possibly the game of the week here. But I like Green Bay at home. They've always been good at home. Aaron Rodgers is on a mission this year, and I expect Green Bay to play a very good game, but in a very close game. Packers over the Seahawks. And finally, key game number 4, it is the New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. Now, again, like the Redskins, the Cowboys also have off-the-field issues. Ezekiel Elliott will be under suspension. He won't play in this game, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on Derek Prescott to do well with this Cowboys offense. I don't think as much as that the Cowboys need to worry so much about their offense. I think it's really their defense that need to be concerned about, because defense-wise, they didn't improve much, other than maybe some key backs. I mean, they really I really think they needed to concentrate a little bit more on defense, because that's what is badly needed for this team as much as a running game. Now, for the Giants, they may have some problems of their own. Their offensive line really's got to protect Eli Manning this year. I mean, Eli Manning really was flat on his bottom last year, and the Giants really was not heard of this last season. And especially the fact that they don't have Victor Cruz anymore. That puts a lot of pressure now on Odell Beckham Jr. It's assuming that he's healthy ever since he took that punishing hit against the Browns in the preseason. I expect another close game here. Cowboys are 3.5-point favorite in this one. But I think the running game is going to be a huge question right now, because without Ezekiel Elliott in there, it's putting a lot of pressure on Prescott in this first game. And that is why, believe it or not, I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me on this one, I'm going to go with the New York Giants here. I think the Giants will beat the Cowboys here. But expect another close game here. We might expect, I'm thinking if you look at the schedule, there's going to be maybe 5-6 games that I can see them games being close. And this is one of them. Now, if Dallas had Ezekiel Elliott, it would be a much different story, and I actually would pick the Cowboys in that if they had Elliott. But because their running game now took a hit with him being suspended, I see the Giants now winning this game, because the Giants' defense is going to definitely pressure Prescott a lot in this game, and that's one of the reasons why I'm going to pick the Giants here, but in a very, very close game here. So, yeah, Giants over the Cowboys. All right, it's good to be back, people, and obviously my workflow is going to be a little bit on the downside this year, because there are some things going on in my personal life that I'm trying to get to. But luckily, I'm still here to provide you with weekly picks, and I'm just trying to balance everything out. This hasn't been easy for me this whole year, because I'm doing a little bit more now since I started taking classes again, which is really good for me. But enough about what's going on with me and all that. It's just good to be back to make picks for this year's NFL season. Yes, all the way from week 1 all the way to Super Bowl 52, I will be making NFL picks on a weekly basis. All right, everybody, I'll see you all next week when I talk about my picks for week number 2. Go to thesportblog.blogspot.com for all of my week 1 picks. They will be posted up on Wednesday prior to the opening game on Thursday, because I still need to do that first blog post as well as embedding this video onto it. Until then, everybody, I'll see you all next week. Take care.